Good morning, YouTubers. I got a great video planned out for you guys today. We're going to talk a little bit about why that gold coin is front and center. Gold, just amazing this week. Literally almost hitting all-time highs every day last week. Closing out the week at an amazing jump, $2,578.80. A great closeout for the week. But here's the thing. Some people might be feeling a little bad. Maybe they wish they had had more money in gold. Maybe they wish they had less in silver. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. I don't want anybody feeling bad. Yeah, gold is doing outstanding, but silver really didn't do bad last week. Silver had a great jump, closing out the week at $30.80, literally only $1.70 away from its 11-year high. So think about that, $1.70. And with some of the moves last week that we've seen, we had one day it was a $1.50 jump. Could this be Monday or even Sunday night that we start seeing bigger and bigger moves on gold and silver really starting to play catch up, in my opinion. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in the comments below. If you would, leave me a comment and let me know what you guys think. Would you rather have gold right now? Would you rather have silver? What are your thoughts? And please, if you're not subscribed, take a quick minute, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button. And before we get started, I do got to mention, I did announce our October event already. We will be giving away this beautiful coin. This is a 1987 San Francisco. We are just 74 spots away from giving this out in October. If we don't hit it, we will still give out a regular 1-ounce Silver Eagle. But I wanted to do something special if we do hit our goal. And with only 74 spots left, I believe they will fill pretty quick. So I did want to do a brief announcement. It'd be great if we could fill it up by October 1st. But, I mean, I don't know when in October. As soon as we hit our numbers, we will end up going live and giving this away to one of the members. If you'd like to become a member, it is only $1.99. You can hit that join button below. And plus, it has a lot of great perks being a member, and it helps out the channel. So with that being said, let's jump right in and talk about gold and silver now. So yeah, a lot of eyes right now are focused in on gold and silver. Why are they focused in? The huge thing is the Fed meeting next week. They now have all the data. It doesn't look like there's enough data to push for a 0.5% rate cut. I think they're going to do a 0.25% rate cut. However, who knows what could happen? Banks are in trouble. Despite what they're telling people, I have a belief, and this is just my opinion. I mean, there's nothing saying for sure that banks will go under, but what you do need to think about is the amount of money that is tied up in 1% Treasury bonds or 2% Treasury bonds. As the interest rates were climbing higher and higher, well, now a lot of those people that put their money in banks, they were saving their money in the banks, and all of a sudden they want to pull them. So banks had to do 5% to get people to keep their money in the banks. They want to keep your money in the banks as long as they can keep you in the game, and they don't want you putting it into the stock market, which has been doing very well. In fact, it had a great week last week. But at the end of the day, who knows what could happen, and they definitely don't want you getting into gold and silver. So they're offering a 5%, which is nice. I mean, not as nice as gold's doing right now. Gold in the last 6 months is up 25%. That's pretty insane when you think about it. Actually, even a little bit more, but we'll just round it off to a nice round number. Silver looking good too. Silver up, 27% right now. A little bit higher than gold, but not by much. But people can see the huge gains that's coming in. When someone says silver went up 80 cents, you don't think about it as much. But when you think about gold having almost $100 jump in the last 7 days, that kind of makes a big difference for people. People see that, they're not looking at the bigger number, at the cost difference between gold and silver. And that's what I want some of you guys to do. And I want you guys to really understand that silver plays catch up usually. Usually gold always jumps first. Now, there's a good reason why gold jumps first that you have to understand. Big money sees all the data. They see all the numbers. The high-ups, the governments, the central banks, they see all the numbers, the honest, legit numbers, not the revised numbers that get hidden. They see everything, and they see it first. And I believe that some of these numbers are being revised. They're coming out as one number and then they're getting revised a week later for a reason, because they don't want you to know the truth about what's going on in the economy. They wouldn't even be considering rate cuts right now if the economy was really doing great, but it's not doing great. And therefore, that's the big reason why we're seeing the potential rate cuts. And, you know, it kind of makes me laugh a little bit that some people do believe the numbers that they're spewing to us, when you can look at gold as really one of the big indicators of what's coming. You know, when gold goes up, that's a bad sign for basically geopolitical turmoil. We've got a lot going on in Europe right now, escalating. We've got a lot going on in the Middle East right now. We've still got issues over in Asia right now. And then they've got issues in South America. I mean, really almost everywhere in the world, there is issues popping up. And I think as people start to realize that, they realize that something big is on the horizon and something big is going to happen. And so that's why people are trying to position themselves into gold and silver. Now, does it take a huge amount of money? It drives me nuts when I hear people say, and this is something I hear actually quite often, I don't have a lot of money to invest in gold and silver right now. First of all, right now, the average person does not have much money. A lot of people are hurting. However, you can invest in something like silver dimes for really as cheap as what, $2.25. In fact, I had someone tell me last night, it's a Mercury dime right there. For those of you that don't know, you can pick these up literally cheap, $2.25 right now. I had someone actually call me the other night and tell me, hey, a guy asked me if I wanted to buy some of his silver quarters at $5 a piece. And he said, is that a good deal? Now, this is not a hardcore silver stacker like you guys that follow the channel every day. This is just a friend of mine. And he knew that I knew a little something about silver. And so he wanted to ask me. And I said, honestly, I said, right now you're talking $5.45 for a silver quarter. I said, if you could pick them up at $5, that's a steal. I said, honestly, if he's got a bunch, tell him you'll take them all at $4.75 a piece. And you'll take everything he's got. He said, I ain't got that kind of money to be buying a bunch. I said, I'd be interested in for $4.75 a piece, and then you can save a quarter on every one you do get. And when he called up the guy, though, the guy only had like 6 quarters and probably like 10 dimes or so. And I said, that's still, you did really well. That's a good price to get them at. And it truly is. You know, people are hurting for money right now. So there are people selling, and some people don't even understand silver. They don't even understand why a silver quarter is worth $5-6 really. You know, because it is silver. It is real money. There was a reason why our founding fathers changed it and basically took the silver out of the quarters and the dimes and the half dollars and gave you clad. There's a reason why they did that, because they recognized silver and gold as money. And when the big money starts flooding into gold, I mean, it would be difficult for some huge player to put all their money in silver. I mean, think of what a couple billionaires, even really multimillionaires, but we'll say billionaires to be on the safe side, could do to the silver market if they just started wanting to put money in silver. They would literally skyrocket the price of silver. And a lot of people don't realize that it doesn't really take billionaires. It just takes a handful of millionaires even, multimillionaires, or a bunch of everyday people like us. Because right now, people around the world, not as much here in the United States, but around the world, are starting to move into gold and silver. And you know that's the case because you're seeing the premiums start to be a bigger spread. You're starting to see a higher percentage on the premium. Whereas here in the United States, you've got spot plus maybe a few dollars premium. In some places, they're paying a lot more on premiums. In fact, if you're in a faraway country, or just any country outside the U.S., leave a comment. Let me know, what are you paying right now on an ounce of silver? I'm curious to hear how much your spot is, how much your premiums are. Spot's pretty much the same everywhere around the world. But the premiums do change, and the premiums are based on what are the people in the country doing. If they're all buying it up, then obviously there's going to be less physical silver to buy up. Now, there's tons of paper silver. That's why you've got 405 ounces of paper silver for every 1 ounce of physical. But at the end of the day, these people are going to be left with nothing but paper. Now, I did do a video a little while back, and I'm not ashamed of my calls. And I said I still think there'd be a possibility of a dip before the month comes to an end. And I explained why that is. I explained that that dip would probably come because a lot of these big banks that has been proven that they do manipulate the silver price have shorted silver a lot. And now with almost $31 silver, they're going to be hurting when their short position was approximately $27, $26.50 to $27. And now we've got it over 30. We're coming up on 31. So they're going to be pretty hurting when that happens. Now, I will say though, they're going to have a difficult time to manipulate the price down now because we're only days away now from seeing the Fed rate cut. Now, there's still time after. I mean, you think about it, the rate cut's going to come the 17th or the 18th. Well, that still gives them 2 weeks to beat the price down. So, honestly, I'm not really buying too much. I'm a little nervous, obviously, because I do want to, put in more money all the time when I can find deals. If you can find a deal, and I'll say this because some places that I do go to have not really jumped their prices yet. And I find that funny because they'll put a sticker price on the coin. So like maybe 1 ounce of gold, it might have one sticker price on there, and that's it. And for the most part, it's over spot a certain amount. But when spot moves up like $100, now you've just closed that gap. So I urge you guys to definitely keep an eye this weekend at your local pawn shops, at your local resale shops, that type of stuff. I mean, if you're anywhere near me, trust me, I hit all of them. But there are opportunities out there if you know what you're looking for. But then again, some places, they're not even open on the weekends if they specialize in gold and silver because they know the markets don't move, and so they don't want to be open. That's the time off for them, and they spend that with their family and they're open weekdays. But I do know there's a lot of key coin shops out there that are open on the weekend, and it's a little harder to sell on the weekend to them, but they'll definitely let you come in and buy, especially after we've seen this nice big run-up on gold and silver. Now, I've got to talk a little bit about, that back on the dip. Why is the dip? You have to understand that when they lower interest rates, that makes the dollar weaker. Because the dollar is weaker, prices on everything go up. When the dollar gets weaker, it encourages people to not want dollars, to want something else, like gold and silver. And that's why I think after they cut the rates, they're going to try to beat down gold and silver. And, it's a little bumming to hear it because right now there's a lot of excitement around it. But here's the thing. Eventually, you can only beat it down so much. Eventually, they do start losing control. Now, there is a thing. I haven't confirmed this yet, so I probably shouldn't even say anything. But I have been hearing rumors online that the BRICS is talking about a 40% backed BRICS currency. Now, here's the thing. I don't know why they would come up with 40% for their number to try to back their currency to a 40% gold. It's a possibility they could do something. I mean, ultimately, systems in the world are like pendulums. When it swings one way so far, all of a sudden it shifts and starts coming back the other way until it goes too far. And those things can be, we look at money, obviously, since we talk a lot about gold and silver on the channel. And right now, populations and society have been dumbed down on what money really is. Money is supposed to be a store of wealth. Well, clearly, if they can print unlimited supplies of dollars, then it's not a store of wealth. Because the more they print, the less it's worth. So if it's not a store of wealth, but people think it is, we have gotten pretty far off on that pendulum course, especially when you look at what our founding fathers wanted. Our founding fathers in this country wanted gold and silver as money. And anything else was punishable by a word that I'm not allowed to say, but it begins with D. And you would be taken out for that. So essentially you have to understand, our founding fathers knew that. That's why gold and silver in the early days of America was so important. It wasn't just America, it was really every country, because any country in the world probably had gold and silver as money 100 years ago. And we have came away from that. So this paper money, it was an idea, the fiat money, that came up, and all of a sudden everybody realized it for governments, and so they started pushing it on to their people. And it's a way to steal your wealth, because if you're not holding gold, and you're using cash, then they can print more of it, and as they print more of it, it makes it worth less. You have to understand that key thing, because that is hugely important. Now, as people start losing faith or confidence in the dollars, they're going to start eyeballing gold again. That's why they're going to have to beat it down as best they can. But that comes at a cost. And at a certain point, they will not be able to do that forever. I know some people say, oh, they can always just keep printing money. And as they print more money, use that money to beat down the price of gold and silver. Okay, here's the thing. If you want to make that argument, you can. Maybe they can always do that. But here's what you got to remember. If they're manipulating the price lower of something, that means you can get more of that something for less money. And that would be all the reason you would need to want to buy some. Now, I don't get commission off this. I don't even promote any websites anymore. There's nobody that I say, hey, you need to go order from this company or that type of stuff. I don't do that. Down the road, who knows? I don't know my future. I'm just saying right now I don't promote anybody. But you have to understand that gives you the opportunity to want to stack, because you're getting more for your money. Now, eventually the pendulum's going to swing. It's going to swing back. When people wake up to this, when their money becomes worth less and less and less because they're printing more and more and more, then that's when the pendulum starts to swing the other way. And it's not just money, like I said. I mean, you see it in nature even. Nature, think about it. You have spring, where stuff starts to grow. You have summer, heavy growth. Then you have fall, where stuff starts to pass away. And then you have winter, where everything's gone. And then you have spring, and it all resets and starts over. That's like a pendulum. That's the seasons. And everything has its season. And it's important that you guys understand what's going on with money. That's why we talk so much about it on the channel. I want you guys to do well. I don't want to hear people, I feel bad when I hear people say, I can't afford to get into silver. It doesn't take much, and I can almost guarantee you, it's not financial advice, so I can't guarantee anything. I can't even give you guys, I can only tell you what I'm doing. But what I can guarantee you is if you start buying a couple silver coins every week, even if it's something as cheap as $1.25 silver dime, or as expensive as a 1 ounce for, $32, $33, $34, whatever it's at, depending on the ounce that you get. Once you start doing that, you will have a nice amount of silver. It does start to grow. It's a slow growth. And here's the thing. It's even greater when it's growing in fiat dollars. Now, I know the majority of the people watching the channel might say, I don't plan on selling. But here's the thing. Money is just that. It's money. It's a tool. I look at silver, I look at gold as a tool to acquire the things in life that I want. And at some points in life when there's nothing that I want or that I'm willing to shell out my fiat currency for, then I put it to precious metals. It's a savings. If I could put it to land, I would. If I could put it to, there's certain things that are only going to keep going up in value. They're not making any more of it, essentially. And that's kind of where gold and silver does come in. And, so when people tell me that, hey, I would never sell mine or this and that, there's nothing wrong with taking a certain amount of profits if you're going to use it for something good. But if you're just going to take fiat dollars and save that, whether it be under your mattress, whether it be in the bank, wherever you put your cash, you have to understand cash is going to lose value. It's going to continue to lose value. It's going to continue to depreciate in purchasing power. And anybody that doubts that just has to look at how much stuff was 20 years ago versus today. 20 years ago, an ounce of gold was $400. Now you look at it and you're lucky if you can touch one for 26, 27, so it's important that you guys realize all this. With that being said, I'm going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And like I said, I hope you consider joining and becoming a member for only $1.99 a month. A lot of fun things. Plus your comments go directly to me, to my phone. So if you write a comment on a video, I'm guaranteed I'm going to see it because it comes right to my phone. Let's see what else. I think that's about it. With that being said, and it just helps out the channel. So, if you do want to join, there is a little join button below. If you're on an iPhone or an Apple phone, you will have to go to your internet browser and go online and then go to youtube.com and then go to the channel and then click the join button, because for most Apple users, from what I understand, it's a little harder. They don't have that that join button like an Android phone right beside the subscribe button. It says join. So it does help out the channel though. With that being said, we're going to end it there. Only 74 spots. Hopefully we'll pick up at least 2 or 3 today and continue on down that road to 150. And then we're going to give away an awesome coin. And this is an awesome coin. Literally the book value on it's $250 certified. Very limited coin, as it is a San Francisco coin. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Y'all have a great day, and I will be putting up some short 1-minute videos today. Might even go live today or tomorrow, so maybe you will catch me if I do go live this evening or tomorrow evening. Depends on how my day goes. So thank you all for watching. Hope to see you guys again on T-Square Talk, and you guys have a great weekend. Bye-bye.